So this is technically the third class opener titled Review, and that's for tomorrow's test, section 0.2 all the way to 1.4. So this class opener is focusing in on PEMDAS, right? Now, whenever you do have a fraction with stuff up on top, stuff on the bottom, I recommend that you simplify the top. So it's kind of like ignoring the bottom. So just work on the top, and then you could ignore the top and work on the bottom, or you could do one step, bless you, and then rewrite everything. So looking at the top, let me rewrite the division bar. Looking at the top, what would you do first? Would you add, multiply, exponents? What would you do? Yeah, you look parentheses, and inside the parentheses you have multiplication. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, just so I know that this is what I'm doing. 2 times 5 is 10. And then I'm going to rewrite everything else. Of course, it has a square on it. It has a plus and an 8. And let's treat the bottom like if it were a totally separate problem. On the bottom, I have two operations, exponents and subtraction. So what would you do first on that one? Exponents. So I'm going to do 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. And of course, I rewrite everything. So I did one step on the top. I did one step on the bottom. Not only that, I underlined what part of it I was doing. And I even kept it red so you could see how I got from here to there, from here to there. Okay, so anyways, on the top, we still have exponents and we still have addition. What do you do first, exponents or exponents? So if we go with 10 squared, what is 10 squared? 100. Okay, check this out. I'm going to put an equal sign, a division bar. That way I could write my 100 right there. And of course, I'm going to bring down the plus 8. And on the bottom, there's only one thing to do, 9 take away 5. So I might as well do 9 take away 5, which is 4. So 4 is on the bottom. So there's my new fraction. All I need to do is one more step up on top. What is 100 plus 8? That's 108. And we are going to divide it by 4. 27 is the correct answer. Now, if you wanted to show your long division work, or if you don't know how to do that, put 108 inside of the division box. Put 4 on the outside. And you have to ask yourself, 4 times what will get me close to 10 without going over? 4 times 2 will get me close to 10. 4 times 2 is 8. And of course, we're going to subtract. So if you go 10, take away 8, we get 2. And then you bring down the 8. That 8 up there comes down, so it looks like a 28 now. And 4 times what is 28? 4 times 7 is 28. So we know that the answer is 27. So the answer is 27. Let's move on to number 2. I'm sorry, before jumping to number 2, I do want to say that there's many ways of doing the same math problem. Right here, I kind of did everything at once. I did both top and bottom at the same time. Okay? Like, I did one step on the top, I did one step on the bottom, I rewrote the whole fraction. You don't have to do it that way. You could have done all of the work on top first. You could have just ignored the bottom completely, done all the work on top first. That 2 times 5 is 10, 10 squared is 100, 100 plus 8 is 108, and then you just write down 108 up on top. And then on the bottom, you could have done all the work on the bottom. 3 squared is 9, 9 take away 5 is 4, you put 4 on the bottom, and then you do the final division, 108 divided by 4, right? So you could have done it this way, both at the same time, or you could have done everything on top and then everything on the bottom. It's totally up to you. So this one, let's do the top first. What do I do first, add or exponents? What's 3 squared? 9. So I really have 7 plus 9. On the bottom, what's the first thing I do on the bottom? It's a totally separate problem. We treat it. Exponents also. So when we do 2 to the third, what's that, 6?
8.
No, it's 8. That's right, 8. So we have 8 right here, and then it's a times 4. So again, I do one step on the top, I rewrite the top. I do one step on the bottom, I rewrite the bottom. And then our final answer, well, maybe we could reduce. What's 7 plus 9 up on top? 16. On the bottom, 8 times 4, 32. So that would be our answer if we cannot reduce. But 16 and 32, they're both divisible by 16. Okay, they're both divisible by 16. So if you do divide by 16, 16 divided by 16 is 1, 32 divided by 16 is 2, and there's your final answer, 1/2. Now let's say you don't see that it's divisible by 16. Well, everybody should see that this is an even number and that's an even number. So if you wanted to, you could divide by 2. So if you divided the top by 2, that would be 8. If you divided 32 by 2, that would be 16. And then you could keep dividing by 2 if you wanted to, right? 8 divided by 2 would be 4. 16 divided by 2 would be 8. And you should eventually get to that same answer, 1/2. But obviously the easiest way is to recognize that 16 divided by 16 is 1, and 32 divided by that same 16 is 2. Get the answer, 1/2. These exact type of questions will be on your test tomorrow. Probably these are the most time consuming because they're multi-step problems that require order of operations, PEMDAS. So again, do we have parentheses here? No. What do we start with? E, exponents. Now the question is this a 3 squared or is it a negative 3 squared? It's a 3 squared, okay? The only way the base is a negative 3 is if you actually had like parentheses around it, right? And that's not the case here. So don't think, oh, that's going to be positive 9 right there. It's not positive 9. What you do is you do 3 squared, that's 9, and then you rewrite the rest. So notice that I rewrote everything, 33 divided by 11 times 9. The minus sign comes down as well. So after that, we have division, multiplication, and subtraction. What do I do first? Division. Multiplication, right? Wrong. Division. Yeah, okay, division first. So remember, M and D are both blue up there because you just go from left to right. You don't have to multiply before dividing. Sometimes you divide before multiplying. You go from left to right. So 33 divided by 11, that answer is 3. And then I'm going to bring everything else down. Times 9 minus 9. After that, I subtract, right? No, I'm just kidding. You multiply 3 times 9, that's 27. Bring down the minus 9. Final answer is 18. 27 minus 9 is 18. Number 4. Remember, brackets are like parentheses. And what do brackets or parentheses tell you to do? They tell you to zoom in and ignore everything else on the outside. So I'm going to ignore that 3 out there for a little while. So on the inside of my brackets, I have exponents, I have addition, I also have parentheses. So what does that mean? I zoom in even more to the parentheses. So 36 divided by 9? 4. And let me zoom out a bit and rewrite everything else that's inside these brackets. Okay? So I still have, let me keep the brackets here. Keep the brackets. And inside I have the 5 squared plus, and this is now just 4. So that's kind of weird. It's really big. Let me rewrite it, but smaller. The bracket, the 5 squared, and the plus 4. So inside the bracket with the 5 squared plus 4, what do I do first? Exponents. You know what? Let me bring this 3 down so I don't forget. But yeah, we're going to do exponents first. 5 squared is 25. We have plus 4, bracket, bracket, bring down the 3. Again, one step, and then rewrite everything. And then finally, 25 plus 4 is 29. Bracket, bracket, bring down the 3. 3 times 29 is 87. Now, if you're, obviously, we're not able to use calculators, I apologize. But to do this, 29 times 3, this is how you would set it up. 9 times 3 is 27. So you put a 2 up here and a 7 down here, 27. And then 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2, that's 8. So that'd be 87. That's how we get that final answer. All right, guys. Those are the 4 type of, I mean, there's going to be more, but expect to see these on the test tomorrow. What else could he do to get ready for the test? I would review the past 2 class openers, also recorded, and also do the practice test that I'm giving you today.